The following program is rated GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
A matching band. A united front, showing that together they stand tall, was a rallying call by persons with disabilities during a walk at the Mount Kenya University, which marked the very first Disability Awareness Day incorporating diversity and inclusion. The Beyond the Limit team was in tow, and I took the opportunity to engage with some of them. Anthony Kiplating shared with me about the many heights the PWD community in MKU has been able to scale to get to where they are today.
With the university being at the forefront of all this, what's your thought on it?
The thought on it is actually now that we even doing the awareness here today, the issue is the people don't recognize actually what the needs of these persons with disability should be. It's a matter of the attitude actually. We need to develop a positive attitude about these persons with disability so that we help them, accommodate them in our social life, in our environment, so that we create a barrier-friendly and disability-friendly environment to enable them cope up with the challenges that may be brought in by their disability. Otherwise, these persons with disability, they have recognized themselves, they have accepted their situations, and they are ready to cope up with life like the rest of the able persons out there in the society and in the university. Yeah.
The surge and thrill of the band's entertainment session was scoring all over the place. The beauty of it all. There was dance, a great cheer, hilarious moments shared by the MC. Even Bill Kaunda, MKU's president, had a few rapping rhyme tricks up his sleeve.
Ikikuja bado tutaipiga. Leo ni Friday. Tuko hapa na tumefurahi. Sindio?
It's a special day, yeah.
That's not all. There was a standing ovation performance by Deno and Daddy Owen. Whoosh! The talent.
No matter who you are, no matter which challenge you're going through, God is faithful. And people like Deno can encourage us to believe that with our talents and with whatever we are given and how we are created and how we are, we can still make something out of our lives. Sindio? Wapi makofi ya Deno?
Ninashukuru sana kwamba niko hapa. Niko hapa tuimbe mbona na Daddy Owen. Unajua Daddy Owen ndio aliniweza kulileta kwa hii industry na mkanijua. Kutoka hapo nikaimba wimbo zingine mingi, lakini bado mbona ipo, si ndio? Na ndio maana siku ya leo tuko hapa tuimbe mbona kidogo, watu wafurahi, na hii inakuanga anthem yetu. Wangapi wanaamini inakuanga anthem yetu? Nilikuwa nafikiria the other day nikasema ya kwamba mbona is heading to 10 years.
Niko sioni mwana nyinyi mwanikimbia, sioni mwana nyinyi mwanidharau, sioni mwana nyinyi mwaniepuka. Twende kazi.
Well, remember Bill Kaunda? In the last interview, he had accomplished so much. Guess what? He still is achieving a whole lot more, now upholding 3 presidential titles despite his condition. Congrats, Bill.
Yes, I'm the president of Mount Kenya University Student Association. I'm also serving as the president of the Pharmacy Student Association of Kenya, KEFSA. I'm also serving as the president of Kiambu University and Colleges Student and Alumni Association. And I'm the founder of Najimudu, that is a community-based organization back in my county, Europe. And we are trying. We believe there's nothing impossible if you open your mind.
Indeed, the mind has no limit to possibilities. The journey to where the PWD community is at now definitely explains why Rome was not built in a day.
We started, I think it's almost 5 years. Back in 2017, the association was formed in 2018, and consistently we've been growing. We've been ensuring that some of the facilities in the school are accessible, are friendly to us, and we've grown. I remember there was a time a check used to come from the National Council, and National Council, we thank you for the consistency that you've had in ensuring most of us are in school. Actually, I've gotten a lot of bursaries from National Council for people with disability, over 100,000. And I believe that is great. You can clap for them here. When we were starting, I think back in 2018, we used to get a check of around 200K. But imagine the last time when we were receiving a check and the check was 1.6 million. Yeah?
I have a short poem, and it's titled Place. Don't see only our disabilities. Don't deny us basic facilities. Don't ignore our many abilities. Don't compound our varied difficulties. Don't deal head-on with the harsh realities. You never know what life has in store. You may fall one day and rise no more. You may join our ranks, afraid and unsure. You may write words to plead, implore. We are not an alien race. We have a voice, we have a face. We have our part to play, we have a place. Let's join life's lively chance. Let's have an equal chance. That's the end of the poem.
I am Dr. Sarah Kimaro Mushai. I am the coordinator. MKU Special Needs Association. Thank you. That's why I love you, my son. And as you have heard, I'm also the Dean School of Social Sciences. I'm humbled to be standing before you, and I'm just amazed by the turn-up that we have had this afternoon. We started this event in the morning at 8:30. Students were gathered, and we are so grateful that you have been patient up to this moment. Let me say, having been the patron of persons with disability in Mount Kenya University has really been a journey. I started it in 2017, and what I've noted is that we have been growing. We have seen students graduate from this university, and this has really marked a difference in the lives of persons with disability when they have been offered the opportunity to pursue their course. Some have done bachelor's, some have done diploma, and others have done certificates. And we even have some students who are postgraduate students who have managed to graduate with master's degree. So this is a university that is all-rounded, and we are so happy that it is accommodating persons with different levels, at different levels of education. I also want to say that being the patron or the coordinator of persons with disability, I've seen talents grow, I've seen leadership amongst ourselves, I've seen people that are really bright, very intelligent in this particular group, and what an honor that they can be able to pursue their goals and their desires where they are in Mount Kenya University.
I work with ABDK as the programs manager for a project called Innovation to Inclusion. As an organization, we are a disability service providing organization. We are established about 6 years ago, and our core mandate is to deliver services for persons with disabilities. So the same way that the Bible says that in the garden, there is, the work is there, but then the workers are few. So we are privileged that we are among the few people or institutions that provide service for persons with disabilities.
Our chief guest, ladies and gentlemen, you must have noted that I have resisted using the term people living with disability, and with the word where they abbreviated PWD, as people elsewhere would expect me to have done so. Here at Mount Kenya University, we are a renowned institution that works hard toward reducing inequalities in the society, and we are happy for that. In our endeavors to assist the world in reducing inequalities, there are terms we avoid using, such as PWD, and use person enabled differently. And I hope that your unit, your organization will resist from using the word PWD and embrace the new way of acknowledging that people are able differently.
The guest of honor, the CEO of the National Council of PWD, Dr. Hassan Harun, shared a couple of interesting stories of his campus days. He also shared with the PWD community how he joined the PWD club after an acquired disability that changed his view on life completely.
You know this gentleman called Sanko, Honorable Sanko, the green guy. When I was in the University of Nairobi and he was vying for student president, just like you, Mr. President. And I was also regional student leader at the university. Those days, universities are few, 6 public universities. And the students also have politics. Because it's pastoralist and I'm also pastoralist. The pastoralist student in Nairobi invited me to allow them to campaign for him. Then what I said was, that statement, I never thought that guy would remember. He ended up becoming university president, sole president. After him, I'm seeing another person with disability in a big university like MKU to be a president. So you're still more great than my brother. So many years later, I was involved in a road accident. I became a short man. And then I met Sankok. And then he reminded me that I called him Kiwete, because that's the only word of disability that I know at that time. You see how life can bring people in the most unlikely circumstances. And when I was a 4th-year student also, nilichelewa. Then I got a hostel, popular, with students with disability. He was a bit friendly during Professor Shwani's time with the students with autism still. Then on my left, I remember there was a fresher, and who is currently also another senator with albinism, Isaac Mahoro. And then on my right, there's a gentleman who was blind, he's called Wahoni. I didn't know God was preparing me for this journey. And my friend felt I am out of place, and what am I doing with this student? So I never saw someone with albinism in northern Kenya. The environment there is too harsh, maybe they couldn't live longer. So when God brings me, I'm glad and somebody you know. And also within many years later, and I accepted my condition and started going out in my wheelchair. I met him in one of the forums, and he remembered. He came over to me and he said, Hassan, what happened to you? I explained to him what happened. And another time I was looking for some sympathy. Then he laughed and he told me, my brother, welcome to the club. The journey of our friendship in the disability movement began. I think Dr. Kemalu has just said that disability is not about the impairment of someone. It's about the barriers across millions of us with different forms of impairment, with its built environment, or our attitudes toward those with disabilities. As a country, we are a leader in terms of matters disability in the continent. We might have a slow pace in implementing great laws that we have, but no country in Africa matches Kenya when it comes to law and policy on disability.
There were some goodies too that were pledged by Hassan. The PWD members were elated.
Mr. President, you did say bursary. I think we are moving away from bursary to full scholarship. Going forward, once we strike some deal with some partner to complement all the assignment we are doing, we'll move to full scholarship. The fighting chance for any child with disability is education. That time they're going to be a VC, they're going to be a CEO, they're going to be doctors, lecturers, journalists. But the moment we deny them that opportunity, that is the time they will use their disability as a qualification to sit in the street and to beg. And it's not a good sign. And that's what we can avoid. And it's easily avoided through education. And we're going to work with you very closely. I promise you that the few times I'm going to be a CEO of council, one of the areas we want to really invest so much in is working with institutions of higher learning. And you have able to do research, to tell the story of disability differently. Because disability stories are told in many ways. And the most stronger one is the charity model. The one that when you see someone with disability, you see an impairment, you see sympathy, nikupatia tu sadaka, not minimizing or removing the barrier to give the person the opportunity. Another terrible one, which we're going to address with the Ministry of Health, we're already in conversation with them, is the medical approach. If you see me, you think that I'm sick and you want to fix my sickness. And I'm not sick, it's just a condition. That's why we have a challenge with registering who is a person with disability. Because the mandate of who is to define who is a person with disability is with the Ministry of Health. So you find mtu alipata accident kidogo ya pikipiki hapo hospitali, the time is there, unadefine kama disability. No, because disability has presented an opportunity. You don't pay tax up to 150,000. You import a car. You have 5% allocation. In job opportunities. You have agbo opportunities. Sasa wakora sasa wameanza kuanguka. Unakuja kuona mtu anadansi hivi, yeye ni walemavu ama vidole kidogo hapa imekatwa, they fit themselves into it. And that is done by even the guidelines that is done by Ministry of Health, and it's something that we want to correct with them so that those who are truly disabled, we're going to find their opportunities, and we're going to work around the clock to fix that issue. I just want to make some few requests to the university on behalf of the university students. I know that has been made. One of the things that I want to really request the university is to how we can change the attitude of the community, is to engage all of them, to introduce university common units, regardless of which course you do. Even if you're doing medicine, engineering, just like a common unit like development studies and communication skills, everybody who will pass through MKU must have a basic understanding of what disability is. It can be a university common unit, it can be a faculty common unit. It's something that you can do. If you do that, then you're going to be the first one in the history of Kenya. No university, including my university, that is friendly with disability, and most graduates with disability come from KU. The other thing which I would request is we should sign an MOU with the university and work together in the area of social inclusion, research, and how issue disability can. You really mentioned it very well. How can we research on transition rates from primary to secondary to tertiary institutions? At the tertiary institutions, where are the gaps, policy gaps, any other gaps? How can you become, a leader there? I know when you were in your office, I shared with you aspect of economics of disability, changing narratives around disability. Disabled people are the poorest people in the society, yet their lifestyle is the most expensive. And it's an economy itself. How can we tap into that? These are some of the areas that we need to look at. How can we tie it to manufacturing agenda? About 2 million Kenyans are using wheelchair. If we go by the estimate of World Health Organization, the cheapest outdoor wheelchair in Kenya costs about 13,000 to 28,000. That translates to 2 million Kenyans are sitting on a metal worth 60 billion, not million, billion. Unajua tulijua maana ya billion with devolution, before devolution billions hauka inajulikana. So you can imagine the factories that are making these wheelchairs. How many people are employed there? How many people supply raw materials there? Chomas, these canvases, how many people pay taxes? These are the areas where we can have a conversation at the institutions of higher learning to come up with an innovative way to research, to show the government that what affirmative we are allocating to disabled people is very inferior to what their lifestyle as an economy is generating, so that we can export to the other part. So we can also have that conversation of how we can have an MOU together going forward. Event like this also we're going to support going forward. I know this is just a beginning. Event like this, how we can even tie, for scout talent. You can even introduce fashion show. If Corona disappears, we can see talent. I've seen Miss the young lady, Miss Apple differently. That's what you say, right? Yeah. Those are things that we want to support. The more we talk about these interesting things, the more we make society to accept. The more we fight, stigmas, to go away. There's a gentleman here, somebody requested whether he will be employed by us at the university. I think it's called Anthony, the former chair, right? Yeah, it's amazing. I know we're going to employ at our place. We have a lot of people with disability that we employ. Right now, of course, as a government, we have an MOU employment. If time reaches, we're going to employ a number of you. But I want to appeal to the Vice Chancellor. The 5% quota of employment also applies to universities. Hiyo Anthony, tafadhali tusaidie employee. If you miss the job opportunity. I know the rest is going to advocate for them, employment. Because what the Constitution of Kenya writes is progressive implementation of 5% employment. But what if this Constitution is amended, when the BBI discussion happened, as disabled people, our biggest interest was the word progressive to be omitted, because you can't measure progressive. At least 5%. So that in the next government, if the president picks 20 ministers, he's obligated to pick a minister with disability, a principal secretary, directors, So it also applies to institutions like MKU and many others. So that one is also something that you can do. And finally, let me take this opportunity to say that as a National Council for Persons with Disability, we are also, I think James Kaitan here did mention something, but he has not mentioned it in detail. There is a portal on our website called Eye to Eye, Innovative to Inclusion, where we want you, all the disabled students, those who are graduate, those who are about to graduate, to register in that portal. This is a portal we are hooking you up with the potential employers. Some some of them are directly contacting us so that we can present your CVs. Please, put your CVs inside there so that we can also help each other. Otherwise, it's a humble pleasure, and thank you so much for making me, or for allowing me to be the guest of honor. It's a privilege, and I'm sure this is not my last time to come. We're going to come when we are signing MOU. We're going to come when we're going to celebrate another milestone of the university. And please, right now, KU is number one. Please pass KU. Thank you so much.